In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, and peace and blessings be upon the most honorable of messengers, our Master Muhammad, may Allah bless him and grant him peace. We ask Allah, the Most High, the Almighty, to help us interpret the verses of the Holy Quran from Surat Al-Baqarah. Interpretation of verse 146, 148 of Surat Al-Baqarah. The Holy Quran has presented many situations that show the extent of the people of the book's denial of the truth, their rejection of it, and their insistence on disbelief. They knew the Messenger of God as they knew their own sons, and his descriptions were mentioned in the Torah and applied to him. They knew his time and knew his message, which they were trying to cast doubt on, as they knew the matter of changing the Qibla. Those of them who converted to Islam and believed out of conviction. As for those who did not believe and disbelieved in what the Messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, brought, they knew the truth and knew that it was the truth, but they concealed what they knew of the facts that they found before their eyes. God addresses the Messenger of God, but the Messenger is infallible, so what is meant by him is the nation of the Messenger of God, which is the nation of Islam. He addressed the nation of Islam with a warning because God loves the believers and does not want them to fall into what the enemies of Islam fell into, so that they do not doubt, that is, not an atom of doubt enters their hearts that the truth is from God. Despite all these directives to the nation of Muhammad, may God bless him and grant him peace, God made his servants free to choose, and sent down messengers with heavenly books to teach man his religion and the heavenly method, and taught man that whoever chooses faith will have paradise, and whoever chooses disbelief will have hell, and left man to his own choice. After man learned the reward for every choice, he became responsible for his choices, and each one has a different direction from the other. Some people turn to disbelief, and some people turn to faith, and these choose obedience and those choose disobedience, and whoever God guides turns to righteous deeds, as if he is racing towards them. What is required of the believers in this worldly life is to race towards good deeds everywhere, because the more they race towards good deeds, the more their good deeds increase and their bad deeds disappear, until they attain the pleasure of God, and God admits them into paradise before their time comes, and God brings all people, meaning that the truth, glory be to him, wants to teach us with certainty that we will not escape his punishment, for he, glory be to him, is capable of everything. Interpretation of verse 149:150 of Surat Al-Baqarah. Changing the direction of prayer caused a violent shock. The enemies of Islam tried to cast doubt on the issue of changing the direction of prayer. Therefore, the issue of changing the direction of prayer was repeated 3 times in the Holy Quran, 1 time inside the mosque and the 2nd time outside the mosque. The 3rd is from all directions. To establish the believers, whether they are in the city, or outside the city, or anywhere on earth. This is their Qibla in every prayer regardless of the place they pray in. And because the enemies of Islam always try to cast doubt on the matters of the religion of Muslims and shake the souls of the believers, especially in the matter of changing the Qibla, they ask the enemies of Islam about the reason for changing the Qibla, and they say that it should not have been done, because it does not increase the obligation. But this is not an argument to cast doubt on changing the Qibla, because Jerusalem has no sanctity in itself and the sacred mosque has no sanctity in itself, while sanctity is in obeying Allah. Allah commands and we obey the command of Allah. Therefore, Allah reassures the believers that what you did by changing the Qibla is a truth that came to you from Allah, the Blessed and Exalted. And Allah, the Almighty, is not unaware of your work, such that you have turned towards the sacred house. Know that Allah, the Almighty, encompasses you in everything you do, and what you do is good because you obeyed Allah in your prayers and made your Qibla the holy house as Allah commanded, then you moved to the Qibla that he changed to the Qibla of Mecca. So rest assured that you are on the right path, so obey Allah and do not fear the oppressors, those who transgressed the limits and denied the truth, and they are the infidels of Quraysh, the infidels of the Jews, and the hypocrites. Rather, fear belongs to Allah alone, and the believer does not fear any human being, because he knows that all power belongs to Allah. Therefore, he does not fear anyone except Allah, the Almighty, and that is from the completion of the blessings of faith. So faith is the beginning of the blessing, and fearing and obeying Allah is the completion of the blessing. And peace be upon you and Allah's mercy and blessings.